Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to our YouTube live. If you or your client have $100,000 to $200,000, would they be considered a real estate investor in North America, especially in Canada? Or was that just the 1990s when you could actually have $100,000 or $200,000 and be qualified as an actual real estate investor? For real estate, you could actually move into. That means ready to move in. And I'm not talking about pre-construction. We are myth busting this topic today about how much you need to be actually considered a real estate investor. And the answer is yes, you can be considered a real estate investor with $100,000 to $200,000 available funds to purchase ready to move in real estate. Could you afford, or can you afford today an apartment or condo, let alone a house in Canada? If you live in the cities which have a population of usually 3, 4, 500,000 people or more, and you have less than $600,000 in purchasing power, it's doubtful you can make any viable purchase in these big cities, especially in North America and Canada, with real estate that's ready to move in. If you have 100,000 to 200,000 available, what options do you have internationally to be a homeowner with positive cash flow and reduced risk? So we're not talking about stretching your imagination here and going in the middle of nowhere because there's some crazy ROI, right? We're not these DIY, laboratory style uh, tests where, things are not proven and maybe you'll make this money because nobody's investing there, so it's high ROI. We're talking about proven factual data, reduce risk, solid currency, secure investment, and positive cash flow. That's what we're covering today for families, investors, and professional real estate agents. North American prices have pushed out many buyers and investors of real estate. And you may already have a residence you're living in, but if you have some extra cash on the side and you consider to invest in real estate, can you still be considered a real estate investor with $100,000 to $200,000? Let's dive deep into this and show you how, where, and if it's feasible for you or not. Okay. Quick introduction if you don't know me. Well, my name is Reza, founder of INWÉ, your gateway to international secure and low risk investments, alternative residency, citizenship. So anything beyond the borders of your home country, we handle. We have an active portfolio of more than 20 countries and services that opens up a world of possibilities for investors and serious professionals looking for returns on investment and alternative residencies and citizenships. Our team is licensed in both real estate and immigration in terms of residency and citizenship programs abroad. We work both with B2B and B2C models, meaning we cooperate with financial investment advisors, real estate brokerages, and directly with individual investors and families. Okay. And if you're not a sophisticated investor, that's fine as well. At INWÉ, we've successfully helped thousands of families since 2018 with overseas investments, programs, and opportunities. Our existing portfolio includes Europe, Central America, which we're covering today, North American continent, the Caribbean islands, and even New Zealand. Whether you're seeking to invest in real estate, aiming to retire comfortably with positive cash flow, find crypto-friendly tax countries, or perhaps even acquire direct citizenship without moving anywhere, or fast-track residencies, whether it's for yourself, your clients, or future generations, we offer these services. We're not a typical sales company. We educate you, provide you resources, guide you, and help you weigh all your options based on the risks, returns, and matching your short-term, medium, and long-term goals with the product or that service. You can consider us as a custom solution provider. Our global partnerships and multilingual team speaking over 10 languages ensure that no matter where you're from, what your plans are, we are able to help you. If you want to ask more questions or engage with our office in Panama or Canada, make sure you visit our website or just use the links below down this video when it's posted. Let's jump into it, folks. This is the questions you or your clients may be asking. Where can I buy real estate with $100,000 or $200,000, right? Can you buy in Dubai? Well, there you would need probably around 350,000 US. And I'm talking about Canadian dollars, $200,000, which would be significantly lower. So Dubai's already in the very high price range. What about LA? Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. What about Greece? Yeah, you could buy something at 200,000. Well, you need 250,000 euros, which is going to be more than 350,000 Canadian dollars. But the issue is the value of those prices are overinflated due to the golden visa. You can also buy in Portugal, but not at these price ranges in the two major cities, uh, Porto and Lisbon. And we're going to cover Portugal later on next month. Or Marbella, south of Spain, where everyone wants to go. No, you cannot buy 100 to 200,000 Canadian dollars, or even have that purchasing power with that liquid funds to purchase a property there. But in Panama, you could. Brand new units, and we're talking about Panama City. We're talking about capital cities here. I'm not talking about rural here. Okay, yeah, maybe you go in the middle of nowhere in any country, you can afford a home. But Panama real estate, we're talking about Panama City. Brand new units purchased in, but that are 50 to 64 square meters at approximately 195 to $225,000, okay, US, which will explain how you can purchase and acquire these. One bedroom, one bathroom, full-time reception, security, brand new building, loft style, New York City, rooftop pool, sun deck, and of course, in the old city, which is a UNESCO heritage site within Panama City, right next to the presidential quarters. And we're talking about gym, sauna, event room, and full amenities, just like the rest of any new condo you can buy in Toronto, Vancouver, any of these metropolitan cities, which would be priced anywhere of 500,000 US or more. So we're comparing 195 to 225,000 US to 650 to 500,000 to 600,000 US. And I'm talking about brand new buildings here. How difficult is it to obtain financing? You're saying, Reza, I've got 150,000 Canadian. How can I buy a 200,000 US? Well, it's fine. The banks in Panama will actually give you a 50% mortgage. Have you tried getting a mortgage in Canada when you already have a home and debt, whether it's your car lease, your property taxes, your existing mortgage? Maybe you have one or two properties already, right? And you're paying the mortgage. And you've got 100 to 200,000 Canadian lying around, and you're wondering, what else besides pre-construction can I buy in the real estate world? Well, in Panama, you can put 50% down. So let's say you decide to purchase a 200,000 US unit, brand new, ready to move in or ready to rent out. What is that? That will be approximately 270,000 Canadian, right? So you can, if you've got 150 or 170, you could get a mortgage for 100,000 easily because it's less than 50%. Yes, the interest rates are high, but we're talking about mortgages that are 100, 150,000 Canadian, peanuts, right? The whole year you might be paying $10,000 of interest. So we're not talking about $500,000 huge mortgages, because the prices in these metropolitan cities like Toronto and Vancouver are overinflated, or well, they're just high. We're not talking about inflation or bubbles here. I'm an investor myself, so I do understand that these larger cities, larger populations have higher prices. But when you've got 100 to 200 or 250,000 lying around Canadian dollars, where can you invest? So with even 150,000, you can get 50% mortgage to buy real estate in Panama. The interest rates are high. Yes, they can range anywhere from 6, 7, sometimes even 8. But if you get the right bank to support you, and with the high ROI, you can actually afford and still have positive cash flow and afford a ready to move in brand new building in either by the beach or in an old city where you've got massive amounts of tourism, restaurants, and it's a hot spot, right? What are the costs of maintaining these properties? Okay, because let's get down to it, right? Let's not just talk about, oh, there's something cheap around. Forget it. What's a maintenance cost? Well, it can cost about 2.95 US dollars per square meter. So you're looking at 148 to 191 dollars US a month on maintenance fees. And this is like full service buildings. Water, electricity, it'll cost you utilities $100 a month. Internet, this building that we're talking about is about $12 a month. Wow, $12 a month. Parking, it's rental. So if you don't have a car, if you don't need a car, that's fine. But if you have a car, you want to park every day for a whole month, it's $150. But most tourists who come there, if you rent it out, they don't need cars. And you're in an old city. You just get an Uber and you walk around. It's easy. And what about property taxes? Well, this specific property we're talking about is in the UNESCO heritage site in Casco Viejo, which is the old city, and they're tax exempt for the next 2-3 years. Pretty cool, right? No tax. But if you buy other properties, your typical property tax in Panama City is 0.5 to 1.2%, depending on the value and the district location and the zoning. Okay. So what's the potential income? Okay, let's do some number crunching. You've got your maintenance fees, utilities, and you're going to get a property management from the developer in-house to manage it. You're going to get short-term rental licenses, right? So you don't need to get it because the building itself already has applied for short-term rental. And unlike Canadian cities like Vancouver, Toronto, Airbnb is free, like in terms of licensing and regulatory requirements. You don't need to worry about anything. And you can get 6 to 7% easy. Let's look at it. You invest, let's talk about US dollar because your income will be in US dollars, okay? So you purchase a property at 200,000 US or 195,000 US, especially for Canadian dollars, which are weaker. So you're looking at a lower price unit, right? Of course, we've got units of 400, 500, 300, a million, but let's just talk about the $200,000, okay? You're going to get on a short-term rental, you're going to get approximately gross 16,000 US a year off 200,000, just Airbnb it. That's gross. You're going to deduct 20% and you're going to get 12,800. When you look at your costs and everything, 10,000 US will be your net on 200,000. Okay? And that's after your utilities, your building maintenance fee, property management fee, everything. Right? And then yes, there's an income tax in Panama as well, but up to we'll cover that. It's an interesting one because up to 11,000 US, it's tax free. Woo! That's a good one, right? Imagine being tax free in Canada. I don't think that's going to happen. So you're buying a ready to move in property, brand new, in a hot spot where tourists are coming. It's near the cruise terminal. The presidential quarters are there. It's full of culture, restaurants, coffee shops, great gelato, and it's beautiful because the tourists come there, and it's safe and it's high demand short-term rental. And you don't need to raise a finger because everything is handled by the real estate development company that manages the whole building. All you need to tell them is, hey, I need you to manage it. Everything's taken care of. Let's talk about taxation. Now you're Canadian, you own a property in Panama City or anywhere. Could be in Portugal, could be in Greece, could be in Dubai. Watch out, we're releasing videos and lives about those properties as well. And you've got property worth over 100,000. Well, what can you do? Well, according to CRA, you need to file a T1135 and you need to declare any assets, anything over $100,000 Canadian or more that you hold overseas. So you will do that, right? And of course, if you have income and you are a tax-paying resident in Canada, you should be declaring it as well. Okay, so there's another option. You can become a non-tax-paying resident of Canada if you're a citizen. And watch out for next week because we're covering that topic and how you can become. And in Panama, rental income up to 11,000 US is taxed at 0%. Between 11 to 50,000, it's taxed at 15,000. And that's after all of your income taxes and in terms of property management taxes, insurance, everything. So you're going to net 5% net, triple net, just by having And that's US, by the way, by purchasing a property at 200,000 US. And I'm talking about triple net. Okay, no other place can actually offer that, right? And of course, you can do everything remotely. Let's talk about how easy it is to manage a property overseas. You're not there, you can't go there. Somebody calls you, the water, the pipe is burst, or there's something wrong, or the client or the tenant needs something. You can't do that. So the property developers, all of them for these new buildings, have in-house management teams that take care of everything. Like literally, you open a bank account in Panama. By the way, you can do that remotely. It's easy, easier than a Canadian bank account. It's a US dollar account with an international debit card. You can even buy the property remotely if you don't want to see it. Let's say you go there, you buy it, you have your bank account, takes minutes. They rent it out, money goes into your bank account, they deduct the fees, boom. So you've got positive income, US dollars coming into your Panama bank account, debit card, spending it here in Canada, and everything's taken care of. And of course, you've got a real asset that is tangible, resellable, high demand, excellent rental income. And you can use it when you go down to Panama if you choose to, or you can just skip the whole thing and just have positive income coming into your bank account every day, every month, and I mean in USD currency. What are the steps to purchasing property in such a jurisdiction? We'll cover the steps in our future videos about Portugal, regarding Dubai, and even Greece. Okay, today we'll cover Panama. And again, we're an international company, meaning we do international investments. I personally have invested in many jurisdictions in my lifetime, so we'll cover all of those. Today we're covering the Panama steps. Select a property for investment. Okay, that's the first step, right? Which one do you want? You can go there and do this. You can do it remotely. If you go there and you sign, your flight ticket up to a certain cap, of course, we're not talking about private jets here, can be covered by the developer. So if you go there and you don't pick anything, you don't buy with the developer, that's fine. You did a quick vacation. But if you do go there and you sign, they'll cover your flight ticket. Pretty good. And they'll give you a discount code at a hotel. You sign a reservation agreement. So whether you're doing this remotely or in person, you sign a reservation agreement saying, okay, I'm putting 5,000 down, refundable, and I want to secure this unit. They'll do a KYC due diligence. It's literally 1 or 2 page form. Who are you? Politically exposed? Where's your money from? What bank accounts do you have? Basic stuff to avoid money laundering. After you've done the reservation, the KYC due diligence, we go to the next step. We require a purchase sale agreement, right? A purchase sale agreement has to be done between the developer and the buyer. You have 15 days from the date you put the reservation deposit and sign the initial reservation agreement. You have 15 days to decide on the purchasing and making the full investment for the purchase of this property with the developer. So you can look through it, you can get your lawyer to look through it. It's pretty basic, and everything is set in the agreement. It's very transparent. If you're overseas, you will provide a power of attorney to our team, who will, or anyone you wish, to purchase that property. So basically transfer the title to you, because everything has to be done in Spanish in Panama. So if you're there, you can do it right there, and they'll transfer the title to you. So you do the signatures, then you leave, because it may take up to 45 days. If you're overseas, you can do it through a power of attorney that allows them to put the title to your name. So it doesn't give them power to put it under their own name, right? So the property is transferred to the client's name through the power of attorney, through an attorney, a law firm, because similar to many jurisdictions in North America, Panama works the same way. And of course, there's a transfer property and a title deed that is issued. And then you go online and you can sign and see, you can see the title transferred, and it's registered on the government website, right? And of course, keep this in mind. If you're getting a mortgage, great. If you're not, then you don't need to pay in full for the property, because if you do want to pay in full for the property, that could be because maybe you're planning to get a residency in Panama, right? But in actual fact, if you don't plan on getting a residency and you're just looking for actual positive cash flow, you're looking for affordable real estate that's new and that's nice to actually go to, and marketable, then you don't even need to purchase the full property price cash. You can do a mortgage 50% or whatever percent below 50%, and then pay the balance in cash. And the developer will transfer the title. Everything is done either remotely or in person. It's up to you. If you do choose to go through the Friendly Nations visa, which means if you're Canadian American or even from Europe or other countries, there's over 50 countries. If you purchase a property of 200,000 US dollars or put a bank deposit of 200,000, you can actually apply for residency for you and your family, common law spouse, and even parents and children. But you would have to pay that in full, meaning that's about 270,000 Canadian. So if you paid in full, you can qualify for the Friendly Nations visa, which will give you a 2-year temporary residency convertible to permanent residency. And then at the 5-year point, you can become eligible for citizenship, and you don't even need to live in Panama. But that's only if you're actually looking for a residency. If you're not, you can actually get a mortgage and you don't need to pay the full amount of the property. But if you do for the Friendly Nations visa, you need to put the full value to qualify you for the Friendly Nations visa. And then the rest can be a mortgage, but that's up to you. If you don't want the residency, forget it. You just do maybe 50-50, 60-40, whatever you like. Everything is done through the attorney's office and the developer. We're not talking about resale where you're not sure what's going on. There's an application to make sure that you're buying at the market price, because there's registered property prices by the developers on this government website. So we'll show you those. All these steps are there. And of course, the residency is just the cherry on top. If you do want a residency as a plan B, to have a passport in the future from Panama, which is a tax-free jurisdiction, by the way, meaning that as a Panamanian tax resident or citizen, you don't pay tax on any of your globally sourced income. So if you do choose to become a non-tax-paying resident of Canada, it's an interesting place to be. But then if you choose to stay in Canada and just have positive cash flow in USD income, can you afford to miss that? About $1,000. So you're spending 200,000 US, you're getting $10,000 a year on that net in your bank account, ready to spend. Not bad. Or if you do have a mortgage, well, we just calculate the interest. Your ROI is lower, but it's still positive. Even if you pay 50 or 60% deposit on a condo in Toronto and Vancouver with the high maintenance fees, with all the restrictions on Airbnb, can you get positive cash flow? No, unless you pay all in cash, which we're not talking about today. Thanks for tuning in to our live session. If you see the potential for yourself, your family, your clients, and investing abroad to secure positive cash flow, sunny beachside lifestyle, or securing a second or third citizenship or residency, make sure you stay connected with us for our latest updates. We're dedicated to crafting solutions that meet your requirements. We offer a variety of programs based on transparency, choice, and security. And we have comprehensive liability insurance and client trust accounts in our Canadian banks. And we protect your interests with our multilingual team. Click on the links below this session or this video, and we'd be happy to coordinate with you and to connect with you to give you proper guidance. And again, we're a custom solution provider. We're not your typical sales company. We work with advisors, B2B models, real estate brokerages, and individual families and professionals who just want to broaden their horizons. Because if you're just investing in your local market, that's fine. It used to be a trend. You could flip homes, you could buy a place and rent it out and still get positive cash flow in Canada. And those days are long numbered, especially if you're in Toronto and Canada. And you've got a limited budget and you don't want to do pre-construction in Canada, Well, you have limited options, but I just explained those options to you. And if you like, we can engage, we can get on a call, and we can work out all the details, all the steps, everything fully transparent. And remember, we work with the developers. We're not talking about resale. These are direct developer, and these are top 5 developers in Panama. And you're talking about the best locations. We're talking about Costa del Este, Pacifica Punta, Santa Maria. Hands down, top 3. No doubts about it. Okay. Every week, we're going to be providing content on various programs around the world, whether it's buying a passport or buying a real estate or buying a residency, anything that's beyond your borders, we're ready to cover. We're going to cover Portugal. We're going to cover Dubai. We've got Italy coming up soon. And whether you're coming to Canada, leaving Canada, whatever it is, we're here to help. Okay, so tune in, subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you're saying, why should I subscribe? Well, it's free. What else is free in life? Not much. And you can unsubscribe for free also. So it's easy. See you next Thursday, 11 a.m. North American Eastern Time. We've got videos coming and being posted on our social media all week this week and next week, all about the real estate. And of course, real estate can be combined with residencies and citizenships. And sometimes real estate can just be an investment opportunity to have positive cash flow, maybe for your kids down the line, right? It's an asset. Potentially you get capital gain, potentially you get positive income. It's a place to visit with sun and beach. Why not? There's a lot of options. We just give you one option today based on the specific price points, but based on your price points, your preferences, your timeline, we can adjust, customize. We've got over 10 projects direct from the developer that you can check. And of course, you can travel there and can be even compensated for your travel expenses. Reach out. Happy to connect with you. Thanks, everyone. See you next Thursday. This video will be posted on our website with an article and on our YouTube channel. Have a good one. And remember, always apply or invest with a plan. Just don't do it out of thin air just for the sake of investing or applying for a program. Okay? Take care. Bye-bye.